Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called for a full probe into what she calls Russian election hacking. However, the FBI has not come out and officially said, yeah, it was the Russians who did it. James Kallstrom is here. He's the former FBI Assistant Director, and he's with us this morning. Favorite guest on the show, by the way. Did you know that?
Good morning, Stuart.
You rate. That's why you're back. Now, seriously, the FBI, they have not said, yes, it was the Russians, have they?
I believe that's correct, yes. Nor has the National Intelligence Director signed on to the analysis by the CIA.
So it's just part of the CIA that says, yes, the Russians did it, and the Russians did it.
I mean, the Bureau has a much higher standard of proof for any comments they make. I don't say that to degrade the CIA, but they're two different agencies with two different sets of rules. Well, you know, but there's nothing new here. I mean, this hacking's been going on for how many decades? Okay. I mean, by the Russians, by the Chinese, by the Iranians, by a myriad of people around the world.
But what's new is that Nancy Pelosi and others are saying they did hack, and they did it to help, the Russians did it to help Donald Trump.
Well, I think that's pure speculation. You know, and the notion that the Russians, I don't know if they hacked it or not, I don't know if they gave it to WikiLeaks, but, you know, the information stands on its own. The truth, you know, is the fact that the WikiLeaks leaks showed the cabal between the Democratic National Committee, you know, the media, the outrageous left-wing media, and these roaming gangs of people that would go to Trump events and to disrupt them. Okay. Now, maybe they had the Republican email, too. Who knows? The security's lousy. I mean, people don't really abide by the security rules. And maybe there was nothing that interesting to publish there. Who knows? I don't know the answer. But I mean, it's the Democrats' fault for putting a faulty candidate up that had this tremendous, long locomotive train of baggage, you know, and then all this basically corrupt, in my view, maybe not legally corrupt, but corrupt methodologies of how they were conducting their whole campaign. I mean, they have to live with that, and they have to live with the fact that the American people are sick of, you know, the status quo of both political parties being bought and paid for by special interests. How about the American people being the special interest?
On this program, you have said several times that you think America was going, to coin a phrase, to hell in a handbasket. I think that was your expression, that our culture was just going downhill, that America itself was going downhill. Last time you were on the show, you said, maybe Donald Trump has turned things around. Maybe this is a new direction for us, our culture, our people. You staying with that?
I believe that 100%. And, you know, Donald Trump is not bought and paid for by anybody. And Donald Trump has said what he's going to do. And, I mean, I've known him for a long, long time, and I believe he's going to attempt to do that. He's going to have tremendous blowback from all these people that are bought and paid for. You know, they're not going to change. You know, all these people that have just basically ignored the inner cities in this country for decades. You know, and just think of what's going on there, and think of the crisis. Think of the fact that the education, the families have been destroyed by our government policies. I mean, it's outrageous, the fact that all that potential brain power for the United States and a content population for the United States has just been ignored all these years.
Are you angry?
I'm angry that it hasn't been done, absolutely. And, I mean, they've been taken for granted. I only spent over 25 years in this city. Spent a lot of time, you know, in every parts of this city and other major cities like Baltimore. And it's absolutely disgraceful, in my view, that we are allowing this to happen. And the policies of this government has continued this downward spiral of welfare and have taken any initiative. You know, the first thing Obama did, one of the first things, was he basically kiboshed the voucher system in the Washington, D.C. schools.
That's the first thing he did, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of people actually voted for him because they thought he was going to do something about this tremendous problem and this cultural tragedy in the American cities.
I put it to you, Jim, things really have changed. People are speaking out in a like you are now.
I was glad to see Jimmy Brown come and meet with Donald Trump yesterday. I mean, I think that's the right idea.
He was sitting there a few minutes ago.
The right idea.
And he said, look, it's not black, it's not white, it's what can we actually do here?
Exactly.
It's good stuff.
I mean, this can be fixed, but it takes some initiative, and it takes, you know, we can't have these people that have so-called spoken for these communities over the years. you know, and have basically put money into their, whatever they're doing with it, who knows, but they haven't done much for any of these people.
Will you come back real soon and finish the thought? Will you do that?
I will.
Because I've got to take a commercial break.
I understand.
I've got to pay the bills.
I know how it is.
Yeah, you do.